Shalom, Yashala, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh. I do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Yasha Allah. Kol Haloyim La Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Harakah Kwadash, for blessing our elders with the spirit of truth so that we may know. Shout out to the Akim and the Aqua. That's keeping the faith in the work. Shall keep at it. It's your brother Abaya coming at you with more precepts. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 11, and verse 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe coming quickly. Right, the third woe being the Third World War. And the Most High is clearly gathering the nations for said war. The Most High has the emotions and the mentality of the people really ready for war, right? Ready for something big to happen. And that something big has been brewing for years. So the latest news in the daughter of Babylon is the daughter of Babylon has, started retaliatory airstrikes in Syria and Iraq because of what happened to the 3 reservists that supposedly were killed over there, supposedly by Islamic terrorists, right? Now that's quite often the narrative that's pushed when it comes to death overseas. So I ain't gonna speak too much on it. I'm gonna let this video play and I'll be back.
Begin with that breaking news. The United States beginning a series of retaliatory airstrikes on sites. The White House said tonight that they have clear, irrefutable evidence is connected to the deadly drone attack that killed 3 soldiers in Jordan. The president's national security spokesperson, John Kirby, saying tonight the strikes were successful, but that a damage assessment will be done when the sun rises in the region. And this is just the beginning. The president saying the response will continue. Here is what we know. 3 of the locations hit are in Iraq, 4 are in Syria, and there were dozens of individual targets within each site. The strike lasted over 30 minutes, involving multiple aircraft. Those planes are now out of harm's way. And it comes on the same day President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden were at Dover Air Force Base in Delaware for the dignified transfer of the remains of those fallen service members. We just returned from the Middle East, where we were the first journalists to embed with the U.S. Navy and saw the work being done firsthand to deter Iranian-backed groups from attacking American assets in the region. Tonight, we have team coverage from the Pentagon to the Middle East, and we want to begin with CBS's Nancy Cordes, who is at the White House. Good evening, Nancy, and we are hearing from the Commander-in-Chief tonight, right?
That's right. The president just issued a statement, Nora, saying that all the facilities the U.S. struck this afternoon had been used to attack U.S. forces. And he added this: if you harm an American, we will respond. Pentagon officials say 2 B-1 bombers were among the military aircraft used to strike more than 85 targets in Iraq and Syria. The targets included command and control centers, weapons depots, and drone storage facilities, all of them linked to Iran's Revolutionary Guard and affiliated militia groups. The strikes were approved by the president and launched just a few hours after he welcomed the bodies of 3 fallen service members back to U.S. soil. All 3 were stationed in Jordan at a U.S. outpost known as Tower 22 that came under fire last Sunday. The base's air defense system had been temporarily taken offline to allow a U.S. drone to return from a mission safely. An Iranian-made drone struck sleeping quarters at the base, wounding 40 and killing Army Reserve soldiers Will Rivers, Breonna Moffett, and Kennedy Sanders.
We know that you can definitely feel our pain.
President Biden called their anguished families this week.
Look, I really do know. I got one of those phone calls out of the blue and tell me my wife and daughter were dead.
U.S. officials blamed the attack on the Islamic Resistance in Iraq, an umbrella group of Iran-backed militias.
I don't think the adversaries are of a one-and-done mindset. And so they have a lot of capability. I have a lot more.
Wary of setting off a wider war, the U.S. has avoided striking Iran directly, despite at least 165 attacks on U.S. forces in Iraq and Syria since the Israel-Hamas conflict began last October. Iran's president warned today, "We will not start a war, but if a cruel force wants to bully us, the Islamic Republic of Iran will give a strong response."
Right. So, if you didn't hear the underlying tone, it was war. They don't want to create something bigger, but it's definitely war going on. Right? Greater than Israel, Hamas, greater than Russia and Ukraine is big. And it's going to ultimately come down to that third woe. That's really what we witness in the third woe. Right? And the daughter of Babylon has been involved in the whole process. Right? I can't forget China and Taiwan. Right? But they've been in they hand been in the midst of this whole thing. Right? So Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 14. I've heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent unto the heathen, saying, gather ye together, and come against her, and rise up to the battle. For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among men. And also, more so speaking about Amalek. But like I said, the daughter of Babylon is in the midst of this whole thing, right? And it's because time's up. Right? And it's only going to get worse and worse and worse, and they're going to get more and more involved to the point to where, like it says in Revelation chapter 17, the allies of the daughter of Babylon are going to turn on her and burn her with fire. Right? I believe I heard Donald Trump say if he becomes president, that it's a possibility that the daughter of Babylon will no longer be affiliated with, if I'm not mistaken, in NATO. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. Right? But that just aligns right on up with scripture. Right? If it don't happen that way, it's going to happen another. Either way it goes. But I'm just saying that's what I heard. Right? So 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 7. But the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer. And that's what we're doing. We're watching what's going on overseas. We're watching what's going on at the borders. We're watching what's going on with the climate of society, the minds of the people, the hearts of the people. We're watching what's going on with the rulers of the nations. The different things are changing. We're seeing it, right? Really, people are just waiting on one big event to happen to really just set the change off. But the change is already relevant. It's already here. Right? And the men of the Lord been seeing it. It's just now everybody can see it. Everybody can feel it. Right? Because the end of all things is at hand. Right? So I end with that. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Ratazah, these precepts in this video were edifying. Call Haloyim La Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai Bahasham Harakak Wadash Shalom Yashar Allah.